Hi, Jason Knott with CE Pro, and today I'm talking about the growing outdoor technology market with Tim White, president of Wet Sounds Inc. Hi, Tim.
How you doing?
Thanks for joining me today. Let's jump right into it. You know, a lot of integrators aren't familiar with Wet Sounds. Tell us a little bit about the history of the company and your product portfolio.
So we started the company a little over 15 years ago, building high-end marine audio products, starting originally in the wakeboard tower segment. We were the first company to bring horn-loaded compression driver technology to the marine market, which some of our integrators may be familiar with HLCD drivers and the Pro Sound side. So we brought the Pro Sound market to the marine market. Since then, we've continued to expand our products for marine and power sports, motorcycle, Jeep, everything that has to do with anything outdoor, marine resistant, weather resistant, anything for the elements. So myself and my two business partners, Brett and Joe, came from the CE Pro side. You know, we were integrators. We worked for the home audio side. I did some product development on the home audio in-wall and ceiling outdoor product. So our background is very in tune with the home side. So we'd always wanted to get back into our roots with the home side. And when we kept growing our business with Wet Sounds, we decided, hey, let's bring the same HLCD live music experience to the home. We started looking and talking to some of our friends that were still integrators, and most of the landscape systems were very small. They were designed more for background music. And everybody that we talked to said, man, I just did a system for a guy, and I did 16 of these sats and 2 subs. And the guy kept saying, just as loud as it goes, turn it up. And they're like, no, that's it. And so we set out and started designing our venue series. And the venue series comes from creating that live music venue experience at home. So that's where we took a different approach. There's a lot of conventional outdoor home audio product, landscape product, and then there's the big pro side. But we decided to really create something that was kind of a hybrid between the two, where it's a smaller form factor that has the aesthetics for a home, but has the sound and the output of a Pro Sound product.
So is that the real distinguishing feature of the venue, is just the output coming out of a smaller form factor?
That's where it originally started. And then after we continued to develop product, we've done some very unique things on working with some of our integrator friends on what some of the retrofit market was needing. So we developed our outdoor amplifier enclosure box, which is a single enclosure that houses a high output amplifier, as well as a spot for like any type of media streamer, like a Sonos. And it's a direct 110 plug, so you don't need any type of inverters or separate boxes. It's one box, so you don't have to go through the house. You can do it on a retrofit. You can mount the NEMA box to the outside, and everything's there in one box. Gives you a 4-channel amplifier that's enough to drive multiple subwoofers, multiple speakers. So we've continued to not just focus on that live music sound, but also on some unique products that's going to help the integrator.
Yeah, and that sounds unique because so many outdoor systems today are standalone. They're not necessarily extensions from inside the house. So you got the amplification and the whole kit and caboodle there for them. So in your experience, what is the biggest mistake that integrators are making when they're designing and deploying outdoor audio systems?
You know, I think one of the things is really talking to your homeowner and the customer. I think a lot of integrators get used to installing either what they want or what they're used to doing, and not necessarily talking with that customer on exactly what they're looking for. And talking to the integrator friends that we have when we're developing this product, and it kept coming up. It's like, hey, I did this system for this guy and it wasn't loud enough. It's like, well, did you talk to him and ask him what he wanted? You know, he was expecting more than you gave. You left money on the table. You could have done more. So working now, some guy may say, hey, you know what? I just want a little bit of background music. Want to sit back and drink a glass of wine. You know what? We may not be the right product. You know, there's where you have to talk to your customer. Now, the guy says, look, I entertain a lot. I've got a pool. I've got waterfalls. I've got laminars. I've got jets. I've got all of this stuff going on. Well, you're a wet sounds customer. You want something that's going to have the output to get above the wind, water, pools, fire pits, fire bowls on their pool. They've got a lot of stuff going on, and there's multiple people because they entertain.
Let me dig a little deeper with you. What is the key to that high output? Is it amplification? Is it additional speakers? Is it placement and location and directional nature of it, or is it all of the above?
So, to start with the speaker side, so when we launched Wet Sounds, we were the first HLCD horn-loaded compression driver in the marine market. So what we did was develop a driver we call a Pro Axle. It's a horn-loaded compression coaxial, and we've expanded that product over the years and made many revisions. And when you think a normal horn-loaded driver, it's a compression driver, usually paired with a big 12 or 15-inch or 18-inch PA-style mid-bass. We've developed compression drivers that can blend with a smaller format driver, from a 6.5 to an 8 to a 10. We also have the 6x9, so we have an oval style driver. And what we've done over the years is really fine tune that sound to where you don't have that typical bright horn, harsh, aggressive, where you can have a speaker that can play very loud, but also sound very clean doing it. So our thing's always been loud and clear, to where you can be loud and you can be clear. Clear is easy to do, but not to play loud. Loud's easy to do, but usually it's sacrifice of being clear. So we've always found that we focus on sound quality as well as output. So our drivers being the compression driver Pro style, and then we have what we call reaction technology in the housings. So we've developed our outdoor housings, and on the Venue 8, it has aluminum passive radiator panels built into the housings. So the housings actually, it kind of breathe, they flex. So you have dual passive radiators. And then on the smaller Venue 6.9, it has a single one. So when you mount that in a landscape, it has a down firing passive. So you get more mid-bass response out of it and a fuller sound. The power absolutely has a lot to do with it. Our speakers, being that they are Pro audio style drivers, do need more power. So we give a lot higher output power. We have over 200 watts of channel on our Venue amplifier, where most of the other landscape systems are a 50 watt channel, 75 watt a channel max. So we give you a lot more power at the same time with a driver that can handle the power, but it's also really designed to project that. So you can do all of that, but if it doesn't sound good doing it, nobody wants it. So we focused really hard on our passive crossover network to eliminate what that normal ringing in the ear, the harsh sounds. So we've created a really smooth sounding driver while still maintaining that live music sound. Like if you go to a concert, and best concert you've been to, you hear it like, wow, that's what we want to recreate in somebody's venue, because that's where they can go out there and have that experience. So we always say it's like when you feel like you're at the concert, then we've delivered our goal. If you feel like you just listen to some music, that's not what we're trying to achieve here.
How do you mimic that ambient noise situation with the customer? I mean, let's just say it's a greenfield, yard that's starting from scratch, and there's not that waterfall falling at that point, but maybe there is some tradesmen around, and there's other ambient noise happening from the trades in the area. How do you explain to them the power that they need given at the demo level?
So we're building some shippable demonstration systems for some integrators right now. So they'll be able to actually bring it out, whether it's to a job site or to a customer's house right now, and be able to actually do the demonstration in their actual yard in their versus just coming into a showroom. We feel that's very important. You can walk into a dedicated sound room and it's completely quiet. And then all of a sudden your response may be like, whoa, that's pretty loud. But you bring that product outside and you do have all the ambient noise going on. All of a sudden it really starts to showcase what it was designed for. We're in the same situation with our boat product. When you're on a boat, you're listening to your music and you're doing 25 miles an hour. You got engine noise to deal with. You got the wind noise. You take that same product and you put it in an enclosed sound room, and it's going to be quite a bit louder. So you got to be real careful, because you could, almost scare somebody with the demo because the amount of output that you can get out of the system.
Right. In general, when working in that outdoor environment, do you find that landscape architect is a roadblock or a proponent? And if he is a roadblock, how do you kind of make him to be a supporter of putting in these great audio systems?
You know, I think that it's the landscape side of it. They were against it for the beginning. I think it's become so accepted now, and it's almost part of the installations. Most of the landscape art, they know it's coming, where when it first started, it was an uphill battle. Now ours are going to be a little larger. Our subwoofer is very small for a 12-inch subwoofer, and the bandpass enclosure is a single, so it installs very easily, where you don't have to dig as big of a hole. But our form factor of our speakers are a little bit larger. So there is some things that you have to get their approval. So we've got, on one hand, hey, we're making it a lot easier. So you don't have to, try to cover it up with all these plants. But, if you do want ours, we kind of figure, hey, versus 16 of these little satellites, you can put 4 of our, you want to look at a bunch of small ones or a smaller amount of bigger ones. It's kind of just, personal preference for those guys, but I think the homeowner is really going to be the one that's going to really drive that bus for the landscape architect. They're going to tell them, once they hear it, they're going to say, yeah, this is what I want, figure it out, make it work.
Is there any sort of specialized power requirement, or is it, ideally you just want to have a dedicated circuit that you can use to power the outdoor system, or what should the dealer be looking for there from that standpoint?
Yeah, we've tested ours. We have our venue outdoor box that, like I said, that can mount directly to the wall. Normal 110 plug. We prefer always having a dedicated circuit for that. We've also tested it with some of the other amplifiers on the market and some of the ones that have the integrated amplifiers and streamers, and it performs beautifully with all of them. So we wanted to make sure that our system. You want the absolute best, our amplifier, our speakers, but we also made sure that it's going to perform with other amplifiers, even a little less power, because we didn't want to just say you have to do it this way. There's no proprietary connectors needed. You just conventional burial cable.
So what does an integrator need to do if he wants to become a Wet Sounds dealer?
So they can, we'll have a spot. We have a spot on our website, wetsounds.com. So we have independent reps in some of the markets. We also have our own areas that we actually have our own employees that, instead of a separate rep firm, we are working with Wave for their locations. So Wave will also be distributing our product at their locations. So we're going to be launching with Wave as well. And so we've worked out, where you can be a direct Wet Sounds dealer or through Wave if you're already a Wave dealer. Trying to make it, again, as easy as possible to get the product.